like to testify to honor and glorify the name of our God. That approximately 2 weeks before the quarantine started, I lost my job. And I realized how difficult it would be to find another job under the circumstances. But the Lord surprised me because a week later, I received a phone call from somebody who offered me a job. I was very surprised because I never submitted a resume or anything like that. But the Lord provided me with this job. The Lord knew that there was no way for us to be able to purchase groceries for the quarantine times. But this is how the Lord has given us abundance. Because in one way or another, He has provided for all of those groceries that we have put in our pantry, and that amazingly, they continue to multiply, and the amount of groceries that we have never decreases. But the Lord multiplies what we have. I have seen the power of God. I have seen His manifestation, because just yesterday I was reflecting and thinking that at times like this, we cannot waste any of the food that we have been provided by the Lord. So I thought it was time to start being very measured and moderate with everything that we would be consuming. So I said to myself, as of today, I'm going to begin using a very small quantity of a specific type of flour, corn flour, that I use usually for breakfast. I placed a small amount of this flour to prepare a dough. And for a moment, I just thought and said, it doesn't matter, my Lord, that it's just a little bit of this flour, because it is thanks to you that we have this in the first place. And it was amazing, brothers and sisters, because as I added the water to create the dough, I blinked for a second and I noticed that the amount of dough had significantly increased. And I know that the Lord multiplied it. And I was very surprised, because as I began to prepare the arepas, which is like a small cornmeal patty, I began to see many more than what I usually make. It was much more corn patties than what I usually make with an even bigger amount of flour. And this was just something so beautiful that really moved me. And I would like to thank the Lord with all my heart for it, because He has constantly been manifesting with His mercy. He has not forsaken us, and He has allowed for all of the groceries and the food to be multiplied. He has multiplied it, and He has given us abundance. And I would like to testify this for the honor and glory of our God.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I testify for the glory of God that I only had one diaper left to put on my daughter, for we had run out. And that evening, before going to bed, I put it on her, and later on I prayed and said, my Lord, this is the last diaper I have left. And I also don't have any more milk to buy, for it is very expensive. And I want to share with you, brothers and sisters, that I also didn't have sufficient vegetables to eat in my household. I therefore expressed all of this before the Lord in prayer. At the following day, my father wrote to me and asked how my daughter was doing. I then responded and said, she's okay. He asked how everyone in the family was doing. I responded with that we were all right, independently of what was really happening. But for the glory of God, my father came back and said, look, I've transferred over some money. And he specified exactly for what purpose, which was to buy the milk, the diapers, and the vegetables. And I saw in that very instant the hand of the Lord, how He had manifested Himself once I prayed to Him, as well for our sister Maria Luisa, who's given us great encouragement when the Lord as well manifests Himself through her and fulfilled His word that nothing would ever lack in our lives. And I testify to give honor and glory to the Lord.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I would like to share with you all the mercy that God has had with me. Due to the pandemic, I have not been able to work my regular schedule, and it became difficult to make my monthly payments. Because of this, I went to my apartment's leasing office, and I asked the woman if I could reapply to a special program that they have. This program states that if a child within the household is in good academic standing, we would receive a 75% reduction for 1 month's rent. I had already received this benefit the prior year. Nevertheless, this time around, I would only be given a 10% reduction given it was my second time applying. I explained to this woman that this would only cover the water bill. However, she said, "I'm sorry, but I will give you a telephone number. Call this person and ask if they could assist." That same afternoon, I called, and the following day, they sent me all the paperwork and the application requirements, which were very important. That afternoon, brothers and sisters, I thanked God in prayer for all His mercy, because since I awake in the morning, I praise and sing to the Lord, and that peace He has given me is incomparable, and for that, I have nothing else to ask of Him, because I am a witness of how He has supplied for all of my needs. I am the head of my household, and I've seen how the Lord has even fulfilled my daughter's desires. However, I asked the Lord that if it were His will, to allow us to receive that material blessing. And brothers and sisters, the next day, while speaking to this person, I told them, "I have a number that I use when I file my taxes every year. Is it possible for me to use that number?" After a brief pause, she said, "That's fine." 2 days later, I received a package, and out of all the documents, there were 4 very important letters that had to be signed by the leasing office and myself. When I read the document, it gave a detailed list of everything that they were going to cover. This whole time, brothers and sisters, I thought I was applying for assistance for 1 month's rent. However, to my surprise, I was granted 3 months of free rent. I testify to glory and honor the name of our Heavenly Father.
I want to give my testimony to magnify the name of the Lord. The Lord in prophecy told me, "You will be in bed, but do not worry, because I will be with you at all times, and you will not need anything. I will support you. This will be for teaching. I will soften those hearts of stone, and they will get closer to you." In recent days, brothers and sisters, my daughter took me urgently to the hospital. There, they confirmed that I had the coronavirus. She informed my children in Mexico, and they told my children here that how was possible that they would leave my daughter and myself alone right now. And my 3 children went to the hospital to see me. Now they call me more often, and they ask me if I need something. My daughter is closer to me, and I am in good condition. Brothers and sisters, I don't have money. I don't have no one to give me. I am 60 years old and I live alone. And you know what? I have more than a month that I do not work. And I give thanks to my blessed Lord, because He told me, "I will support you and I will cover all your expenses." And this has been. I have not lacked anything, brothers and sisters, and I testify of this to magnify the work of the Lord.